I'm Molly Kirk, and I'd like to share with you my Cohort 3.0 experience. I began in 2015, receiving my devices and creating a vision for the next few years to set me on a path of discovery. Lesson number 1, do not let your students set up your iPads with passwords they don't remember. The first few months were filled with significant trial and error, and perhaps a little stress. Rule number 2, trust the exploratory skills of your students. The learning curve in our classroom was great, from receiving the devices to panicking because we weren't sure where to start. By letting the students lead the way, we learned from our students just how to explore. The tech brain cell growth in our classroom was significant. Lesson number 3, it's okay to drink from a fire hose. With so much to learn, it felt overwhelming at times. The advice and guidance of Cohort 2.0 was invaluable. Choose 1 or 2 things and go deep. I chose to learn to be Google. Focusing on all that Google had to offer BVSD, I explored, practiced, and failed, and learned. Letting my students explore alongside me increased my learning exponentially. I also chose to work with SAMR, referring to it over and over again, to learn how to rethink lesson design and assessment. Year 2, I continued to add to my tech knowledge by attending an ISTE conference and realized how little I really knew about the possibilities to redefine learning with technology. But I was determined to stay inspired. This was my year to apply. Using Seesaw as an avenue for my students to share their learning with their families and with me, I tapped into the goals of the BVSD Success Effect. It transformed the way that I communicated with families and how I shared work at student-led conferences. Year 2 of the Poetry and Art Project with Casey Middle School students was a success as we streamlined using devices to communicate as students shared writing and artwork. And I continued to put SAMR to work. In literacy, peer revising and teacher-student conferencing is made available through Google Comments and shared documents. It takes revising to a whole new level. In math, students use Seesaw to explain how to build multiple towers and to reflect on their work. And with a Spectrums grant, 5th grade students will be programming spectrums to interact with kindergartners as they learn letter sounds. In year 3, the goal was to reach out and share my techspertise with my professional community. Leading staff professional development was slow to come about, but effective when it arrived. I am the administrator for 6 classrooms in our building, now using Seesaw to connect with parents and to give students a place to track their learning. As a Seesaw ambassador, I hope to share what I've learned with Innovate at BVSD. With devices available to my students, they know that they can show their learning in any way that speaks to them. Technology is the conduit to creativity every day in my classroom. From student-generated PowerPoints and 5th grade newspapers, to videos and movies, to surveys and brain pop and everything Google. It has all been made possible thanks to Cohort 3.0. What's next? It's taken these 3 years of practice to learn enough to feel like I might be an expert. I'm looking forward to continuing my work with BVSD EdTech to share what I've learned. Thanks, BVSD.